You're listening to Bring a Debate. Only on Chapman Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bring a Debate, Episode 4. Go.
Where every week we will bring you a variety of topics. We will debate about stuff like foods, music, and movies, stuff like that.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow our Instagram and to keep up for some updates. And we're going to be posting some polls and posting every week when we go live.
Yeah.
This week, we have a special guest in the studio. We're going to announce our topic after, but do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Jack, also known as DJ Jumbo Shrimp. I'm excited to be here today. I've been told that we are going to be debating West Coast versus East Coast. Is that
supposed
correct?
to announce that, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm so ready.
You're
No,
fine.
I'm ready. I'm pumped.
He's ready, guys. All right. Who's kicking it off? Are we doing West or East first?
Well, I feel like we should first be like what you're representing and where you're from. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
do that.
hey, this is DJ Banana Slug. I'm from California, so obviously I'm representing the West Coast. From San Jose, the Bay Area, of course.
I am DJ Avocado, and I'm from New York, so obviously representing the East Coast.
I'm DJ Donut, and I'm from Massachusetts, so I'm representing the East Coast.
And this is DJ Jumbo Shrimp. And I'm from Oregon, so that means I'm representing the West Coast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. West Coast going
cool.
down.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
I'm prepared.
I want you
Who's
guys to go
ready?
first, because you guys seem very ready.
I feel like the best way probably to tackle it is not like opening argument and like closing argument. I feel like we just bring up a topic and then we say
Yeah.
which one beats one, you know?
Okay.
I guess so.
Okay. Then go.
Well, I just wanted to start with a little bit of a quote because
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I just want people to recognize that there's a saying that goes West Coast, Best Coast, East Coast, Least Coast.
Exactly.
And it's not like that was invented purely for the sake of it rhyming, okay? There's some truth to it, and I just want to get that out of the way first.
Did you say that in class the other day?
I did,
Okay.
because it's true.
Oh, we're really going down.
But you know what? Just for your guys' sake, let's start with public transportation.
Oh, God.
Way better on the East Coast. Way better. New York City's public transit, it's dirty. It is not clean, but it gets you where you need to go way better than trying to commute through LA or any big city on the West
Public
Coast.
transportation. I mean, Massachusetts. It has the trains, which is pretty good. I
That's
guess.
public transit.
Yeah, I
It
know.
has the train.
But like, I wouldn't
train.
say like I don't think. Yeah, like
You know,
I
we
can't
have
really.
trains,
I think
too.
every
didn't-
city has
I didn't really.
trains. Yeah.
I didn't really like have any notes on public transportation as a thing. So
I mean,
That's like your one good
God,
point.
Danny.
Yeah.
I know,
You're
but
so
New York
one
though.
thing.
New York though has the like trains
Yeah,
and the
no,
buses.
we have the
and
best transportation.
What about the rest of New York
The West East
What do you mean?
Coast.
The rest.
and the rest of the East Coast,
Yeah.
besides New York City?
Exactly.
There's Amtrak that goes to many states like Connecticut and
We have Amtrak.
No, but our transit, like,
No,
okay,
our transit-
here's the thing with our transit, though, is you guys are going to sit in traffic for so long. Like, if you
True.
take the buses, or even, like, obviously driving is one thing. We all know California driving is the worst. But, like, buses, or, like, even trains, like, there's not that many train stations around here. But, like, am I right?
I don't know. I use Metrolink.
I don't know. I feel like there's not
Quite a
that many
bit.
train
Which is free
stations.
for
And even,
students. by
yeah,
the way.
exactly.
just like
Just a shameless plug right there.
no, but, like, your buses, like, either way, you're stuck in traffic. At least in, like, New York City, the trains are going underground. They're getting somewhere quicker.
Oh, like the. Oh.
Well, okay, look, that might be the
Not
public
really in the city
transportation.
too
Yeah, I
much.
never thought about that.
public
No.
transportation.
Like, that's
what we're
public
talking-
transportation, but, like, have you guys ever heard of a thing called nature and a bike and hiking trails?
Swiftly moving
Hiking
on.
trails.
I'm just saying, like, we can transport ourselves in many different ways. You guys kind of have the subway, and who drives on the East Coast?
Well,
so
and walking.
Everybody
Everybody drives
drives
on the East Coast. What?
which is
That's even better because you're not stuck in an hour in traffic just to get like 30 minutes away.
yeah. It takes easier to get to another state than the West Coast.
Like the thing I hate about the West Coast is I have to, even just going to LA, you have to plan it around rush hour and plan it around like certain times of the day because we have like multiple rush hours here. in New York, or pretty much all the East Coast, I don't have to, like, map out, okay, well, it's going to be way busier at this time, so I should go at a different time, or, like to save 2 hours on your trip.
Well, okay, I do have to mention, like, yes, like, there are lots of traffic problems in the Southern California region, but we're not just talking about Southern California here. We have to talk about Oregon, and we have to talk about Washington, which means we also have to talk about Florida.
Oh.
And I know that you guys don't want to talk about
Well,
Florida.
they have boats there, okay?
They have a lot of things there that
What?
we wish they
They
didn't
can
have.
travel by
They have
boat. What are you
Massachusetts also has boats.
Oh,
No, I'm saying, like, East Coast, they got some boats. They can travel by boat.
I mean,
In Florida, people do travel by boat.
yeah.
I forgot to
Public
mention.
transport, kind
Well,
of.
I did forget to mention that I was so excited for today that I actually did put on a suit. So I have a suit on right now.
He's lying.
No, I have a full tuxedo on. I got that excited. But
Wow.
that's
Very
just because I'm
mature.
that confident that we're going to win.
Very
That the West Coast is indeed way better than the East Coast.
For the record, he is wearing a hat and a t-shirt and sweatpants.
No.
Danny, they can't see. What are they going to know?
Anyway.
Actually, we have secret cameras in here, hidden cameras.
Anyway, I think it's safe to say we should start with a win for you guys. So great. You guys can have transportation.
Thank you.
I think it is
And
much
that's all you'll
easier.
get.
I'm flying to New York.
Oh.
I'm flying to New York in a couple days, and I'm planning on using all sorts of transit there when I'm there. And I think
Yeah.
I calculated it's like $7 to go all the way through Manhattan up and to upstate New York. So,
Damn.
Or you can walk.
or I can walk. But
What?
anyway,
Well, I mean, in Manhattan.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Wait,
I was like,
you
what?
went-
No,
you went-
not all the way to New York.
You talked about like topics. Is that what you went by?
well,
Really?
yeah, I just figured it'd be easy to
public
Yeah,
transit.
transport's one
what-
topic. Then we're
yeah.
moving
do you have
on.
another point?
No, with like for transportation, no, I don't. But,
Okay, sure. Well,
Okay.
no, bring up
Okay,
something else
okay,
then.
yeah.
Schools, I guess.
Schools.
Oh, I
We
didn't
have-
even think about that.
we have-
Like higher
actually.
education.
We have all Ivy League schools, all of them.
This is true, but that's just
But-
because of the age. The East Coast is older.
Yeah, that's why
But
they're
then
Ivy
they
League.
have
But we
better
also
schools.
have
We have Stanford
So
University
Berkeley,
But Stanford and
And
Berkeley are
UCLA.
not.
and USC.
Berkeley are
And
not
USC.
Ivy Leagues.
but
Yeah.
they're the same level.
The Ivy League
I don't
is just a
remember what it's
club.
called.
You wanna, like,
Those colleges that are like Ivy League, but they're not. There's like a
Wannabes.
specific. No, there's like a name for them.
Do you want to
I forgot.
look it up?
No, but like I don't know what to look.
Maybe just like
Ivy League schools that
Top of
aren't
it.
Ivy
I don't
League
know.
schools. Like there's a
But, like,
certain name for them. But anyway, that's what we
mostly
have.
every single
like
Ivy
Stanford
League
is one of them.
is Princeton, which is in New Jersey, Harvard in Massachusetts, Brown University.
He
in
wrote
Rhode
this all
Island,
down, by the way.
Columbia, New York, Dartmouth in New Hampshire, Cornell in New York, Yale in
Also,
Connecticut,
like
Penn in Pennsylvania.
where all these are, like, why would you want to go to school there in
There.
those cities?
In those
that you're
cities,
listing.
because they're cool. I don't know.
They're cool. No, you don't go for the location at that point. You're just
Well,
going
I know,
straight
but
for your education.
There's no
Yeah.
denying that the Ivy Leagues have a rich history and culture. I mean, going past like 300 years. But who wants to be a part of the past when you can be a part of the future on the West Coast? Stanford is a much younger university. It's number one in the country right now on multiple different platforms. And you have so much more space. I mean, it has a freaking particle accelerator that goes around the entire campus underneath the ground.
You just
Someone's-
turned so nerdy.
I'm just saying, there are parts- there are
someone's
things-
a little upset about not getting university.
Well, I'm just
He didn't get into the Ivy League, and now he's pissed.
I'm just saying, if you're going to talk about smart schools, maybe you should know where your particle accelerators are. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Particle accelerators.
Mm.
I'd say this: Harvard has a beautiful campus, though. Just want to say.
Nice.
Okay.
I have
so
been.
Does,
It's
So
very
does
nice.
Chapman.
I've-
Not.
so does like Berkeley. So
You
does
can't
like
talk about beautiful
Stanford.
campuses.
Have you?
Plus,
have
campuses
you,
are not really part of the area around. It's just your school.
I mean,
there's heavy emphasis on political science on the East Coast and a lot of those schools. But
Yeah, not
what about
economics.
your liberal arts? What about your? I mean, there's a lot of
What
stuff.
about the
that-
film kids?
There's yes. I mean, I'm not gonna
No,
bring
but
up.
like NYU has the. I mean, they're not.
NYU
But like
film, yeah.
they have film.
You're right.
And then,
Yeah, but like
And what else?
exactly.
Yeah.
Just NYU.
just NYU. I don't know.
Like I don't know.
All right.
like,
What else, Danny? What else is on your list of things that? Are on the
Well,
East
do you want to
Coast?
give
You
that
have
to
a
the
lot of writing on your note.
I know.
Wait.
I'm looking over it and I'm like, you have a lot of good points
Wait,
to make. So let's get
I
them out of the way.
I want to say.
Okay.
I want to say
Oh,
because I have
okay.
one that you're not going to win.
Oh, okay.
So, on the East Coast. Okay, no. On the West Coast, I'm going to bring up Dancing with the Stars because it's just an
Oh
example.
my lord.
No, listen, because you know I get pissed at this every week. Listen. So, on Dancing with the Stars, it's filmed literally an hour north of us. Just an hour north. In our state, in our time zone, whatever. It airs at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So 5 p.m. our time. Live. We don't get to see it for 3 hours after it airs.
It plays at 8 p.m.
It plays at 8 p.m. here. So it's not live in our own state where it's live in the East Coast. And we don't get to vote when it's in our state. We get spoilers because it's already aired like 3 hours ahead. East Coast, you get real-time live updates. Here, you have to fucking wait and get it spoiled.
Do I have to go over the list of all the different reality shows that are filmed in Los Angeles? Like, I mean, Dancing with the Stars is no doubt one of the 30 best of them, but there are 29 that are better. So
no, I'm saying like the example, like
no, it's not about that. It's about
it's
like
not
the
about the show.
That's what it's really
it's
about.
It's 3 hours ahead, and actually in East Coast you get the real time because the day basically starts in the East Coast. Like nobody cares about the time here.
Okay, but what's better, morning or night? Like, what do you? Then you get into a whole different debate about whether or not you want to wake up. Feel like, I mean, do you have like some sort of complex where if you feel like you wake up 3 hours sooner than the West Coast, you're like better than us for some reason?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that.
That's what it feels like. I feel attacked.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how. I don't watch those kind of shows. Are they all like that?
A lot of them, like the VMAs, were like that. We couldn't watch for 3 hours.
Which is weird because like the Oscars is like played in
just
every
go to
single
yeah,
like and everyone we watched the Oscars and like all of my family is watching at different time zones.
Yeah.
But it was playing live.
But like, so the Oscars is like that. But certain shows, a lot of them are where it doesn't air our time, and even shows that are like, you know, the cable shows, like how Modern Family used to be like live and stuff. Not live, but like 8/7 Central. Like then we have to wait for 8 p.m. here when it's already aired 3 hours earlier there.
And I think like Jeopardy is the same thing. I think Jeopardy's shown hours either before or after live in Eastern time.
Yeah, because everything goes on Eastern time and not the Western time. Like how the stock market opens at 9 a.m. there, which is like a normal time. Like just example.
Why do you think everything is on the Eastern time and not the Western coast?
Because it's better.
No, it's because when people get home from work, they have to choose the latest time. So basketball games can't start until 8 p.m. because people don't get home from work until 5.
Yeah, but the East Coast time then, the time zone, is better.
It's purely out of just the West Coast is later, and like it's just the way it is. It's
but the people on the West Coast suffer.
You're arguing against like geography. You're arguing against like our atmosphere right now. Like
yeah, but we're gonna argue against the ocean and whatever random like stuff here. I don't know.
There's no argument for the ocean. The Pacific Ocean's just better.
Yeah. It's colder. Yes, it is.
I thought
no, Atlantic Ocean is 10 to 15 degrees warmer. All year.
Uglier.
It also has more. It has more pollution. It has more. The Pacific Ocean is ginormous. There's so many different countries that touch it. Plus, you're not even talking about the fact that there's so much Asian culture influence. There's so much Australian culture. There's so much influence that comes from the Pacific Ocean. Like our population diversity is probably much higher. I mean, I wouldn't.
But the Atlantic is warm.
You're right, and you know where it's warm? In Florida.
Yeah.
Isn't Florida part of the East Coast?
Yeah. And you can go on vacation there.
That's kind of
Southeast.
Lovely.
I love that you said that. And
I think it's a part of the Southeast.
It's East Coast. It's on the coast.
It's on the coast.
It's also the Eastern time.
You can't screw with geography.
I'm just saying, if we want to talk about uniformity of the coast, like Florida is very different from every other part of the East Coast.
Well, yeah.
Like we talked about this. I knew you were going to bring it up. You told me about it. That's why I just don't want to mention it.
No, because we're not going to win with Florida.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you know the California's beaches are better.
Beaches.
Yeah.
Silence.
Anyway,
Okay.
so I don't know. I feel like that's just a convenience issue.
Yeah, but it's
just
annoying.
like if you actually watch those kind of shows, that affects you. But if you don't, it's like
Mm-hmm. It's like a third world problem.
exactly.
It's a first world problem.
Yeah. You want
But to
do my
me,
other ones, or-
highest level.
You wanted me to do my other ones?
Are we just okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, yeah.
Okay, so what I did was sports teams. Not about like the number one sports team won, but like if you want to take like maybe the top 10.
Sorry.
No, what are you? No.
I have to eat my snack.
You have to turn it off.
Putting
He's
it
literally
right into
crinkling
the
it.
mic.
Sorry, continue, Danny. I'm sorry.
You can
Turn off
still
your mic.
hear it. Just
Turn
cough.
off your mic for a second.
Button it.
You
Go
did
ahead.
not- you
No,
did
no.
not turn off your mic.
No, go, Danny. No. It's okay, Danny. Go.
You can tell who's the newbie here.
Okay, so if you take apart like the top 10 teams each that won, most of it is East Coast. Patriots have won the most NFL tournaments of all time. Canada won the most on hockey, but Bruins is number 4 after that. Detroit is number 3 there. Yankees won the most. Second is Boston Celtics. So if you were to say that East has won, I guess, the most, I guess you can say that.
So you've made every man over 45 happy just now, Denny. It's a very big part of the population.
Yeah.
You can just say sports are better on the East.
All of them, and I guess the people who watch football. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
not
true.
strong.
But when most of those championships for the Yankees, I will mind you, came in the 20s and 30s, which
True.
is
When
almost
there was
100
the
years
curse of the band. Yeah,
This is almost 100 years ago now. A lot of those championships have come. If we want to talk about the Celtics have 17 national championships, right?
Oh my god.
But the Lakers also have 17 national championships. So if we want to have that argument, the Lakers are just as relevant as the Celtics.
Okay.
But Lakers suck.
Lakers suck.
Their colors are ugly.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. If we're gonna wear their colors, they better be pretty.
And what's the best pretty team then?
Rangers.
Rangers?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still Celtics. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Wait, I want to hear their points.
I
Yeah,
don't
there.
know.
You guys can do your points now. We'll go back to mine.
I don't know. Sports is not important to me.
I didn't think it was going to be as important.
Where am I?
Well, okay, I think the argument has to come is you guys have obviously talked a lot about the history and how the East Coast is. A lot of your points are based on how much the East Coast has had a lot more time than the West Coast to develop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel, I mean, one, it's a little unfair because we're still developing, but you may have the stock market, but we have Silicon Valley. I feel like we have to mention Silicon Valley and the tech industry. Like, even in Oregon, there's Intel up in Oregon, and Washington is Microsoft. Like, we are all over on the West Coast. And obviously technology is the future. And if you want to, trust your money with a bunch of 80-year-old white guys in New York, that's fine too. But, there's really cool people on the West Coast working at Google.
Working at Google.
I
don't know. What
I knew that some of these topics was going to be hard to do, I guess. It's always when you mention something about a place in Los Angeles where it's competitive and tech.
Silicon
film,
Valley is not in Los Angeles.
whatever in California. It's whatever
Where
in
is
California.
Silicon
It's
Valley?
whatever in
The
California.
Bay Area.
You act like I'm from here. Don't give me that look.
Everybody knows that.
Not
New
everyone.
York.
Cupertino, where Apple was.
Oh,
I knew.
okay.
I knew that. I knew.
I know
Apple.
it's
I
on
knew,
the
I knew- I
boxes.
knew Apple.
No, I know where
I knew
Cupertino
Apple. I knew
is.
Apple.
I
Was
didn't
Just
know
say
that was
San
the whole
Francisco.
thing.
It's going to be easier.
San Francisco.
I knew it was
But
Cupertino.
it's not even San Francisco.
But it's going to be in this. Most of the show is going to be a place in California versus a place in New York. That's going to probably happen.
But it needs to be the whole East
I
and
know.
West Coast.
So you have all that tech and stuff, but outside of California, what else is there?
Oh, I mean, in Oregon, you have Intel. And then
Yeah,
in
you said.
Washington, you have Microsoft. I mean, there's all sorts of, it's not just California. I think you can look at different companies. There's a bit of everything on the West Coast because of our states are so much bigger and we have a lot more space than the East Coast
But that's also a con.
for
'Cause,
transportation, I
yeah,
guess.
you can't get to other major cities in a few hours or a little drive. Going from LA to San Francisco is 6-7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're going New York City, the heart of New York City to Boston, driving it's 4 hours,
Yeah,
and that's two major cities.
that's literally a trip from, let's say, maybe here to Mulholland. A trip to here to Mulholland Drive. How long do you think that is? Probably.
Why Mulholland Drive specifically?
I don't know. I just thought of it.
I mean, I could probably tell you exactly. Mulholland Drive is right by Hollywood Boulevard, so it's probably about
An hour.
45, 50 minutes.
50 minutes? Oh, I thought it was more than that. Then
But that's a little town. That's not anything crazy.
Yeah.
Orange is not a major city.
yeah, I was thinking maybe Boston, New York is within that time. Driving from one place to the other in California, it takes a little.
That's
little time.
here to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Well, then
Oh,
it becomes
a little.
about
I think
what you value, though.
I think
Yeah.
Palm Springs to Mulholland Drive. I think that's 2 hours
Talking
ish.
about two random
I know.
places.
I looked at some geography
Two
earlier.
random
First
places
story.
on a map and was
First script- no,
that's
first-
far.
I
He
was
does
gonna-
have a map open right now, and he's trying to show me
It was
right now.
It was for a script. So yeah.
Googling farthest distances in California.
Oh
Anyway,
my god.
it takes a long time for one place to the other in California than it is from Boston to New York.
I feel like there are advantages of both. You guys clearly have public transportation, and we clearly have weather. So it's not.
But
Weather.
it's
Oh,
no, because if you're bringing Washington and Oregon into this,
All it
rains.
is it's rainy.
Yeah,
You guys
constantly.
have storms and humidity. Ew.
You have humidity.
Yeah, we have this thing called
Like-
cold rain in the fall. You have
Yeah.
humid rain.
Okay,
That's
just
gross.
maybe
disgusting.
just depends on the person about what they
Yeah, it depends on what kind of weather they want.
Because like if you want like fall to be fall weather,
The amount of times you have
No.
complained about the weather on your side
Here's
of the pond.
Here's the thing. I am known to be a Cali girl, and I have to go on the other side here, and it is not easy. I'm not saying personally that I value cold weather, because everybody listening to this and everybody probably across the country knows that I hate cold. I am not valuing cold weather. I am trying to play devil's advocate here.
Well, that makes sense. Then you probably don't have a problem with, when you get out of the shower and like it's humid, and then you walk into your bedroom and it's humid, and then you walk outside and it's humid.
Okay, but you're not living outside. You have the AC on. It's not humid inside.
Oh, well, AC is expensive,
and not everybody. And
Now
everybody's,
you're singling it out to only the people that can afford AC.
Oh my god.
and some people's
So
AC's crap
discriminating.
out.
I'm
I'm not.
insensitive.
See, we're not discriminative on the West Coast.
Not to be. I'm not like siding with the West Coast because I have to be.
You can't side with the West
I'm not
Coast.
siding. I'm just saying. Also, ACs break out a lot. And
That was just your house.
I don't know what.
It was just your house, because
I'm
up by
so
my
sorry,
house, we have like 4 ACs going. It stays nice and cold.
Yeah, it's got to
While
work
you guys,
harder.
while
Over
you
there.
guys have the heat waves of 113 degrees and stuff. Like,
When does it get
it was
113?
109. It was 109. You have 109 degree days where it's really hot.
I was in Boston and it was 117 degrees 2 years ago.
When?
During when?
There was a heat wave 2 years ago in Boston.
Like what month?
July.
When would you have a heat wave?
When would I have a heat wave?
Oh my god.
June. It's mainly in June.
Oh, I'm sorry.
1 month off.
Oh no, you are not helping us.
I just,
right now.
the humidity, I think, for most people, like, if you put it this way, people who come from the East Coast to the West Coast are pleasantly surprised by the weather.
Yeah.
And people from the West Coast to the East Coast hate the weather.
But some people, you guys never see snow. Like,
Yes.
That's
There's-
totally
No,
not
no,
true.
no.
Washington,
Go to
Oregon, maybe, I don't know.
okay, but
Yeah.
you're really gonna go all the way up there? If you're from Southern California,
Lake Tahoe,
Yeah.
Big Bear, the mountains.
We have
You
more
ever heard of
we
those?
have-
They're called
no, but we have more
mountains.
mountains, I guess.
we do have more
We
mountains.
have New Hampshire, we have Maine, we have Vermont.
Okay, but it snows everywhere, so who cares?
Okay, I knew that Vermont would come up, and I just have to say that
Ben
Vermont
and
is
Jerry.
just a tiny Oregon. Okay, like Oregon is everything that Vermont is, except you have your own space. Everything's way cheaper. Like, if people want to bring up the Vermont argument, sure. It's like what? How far is that from New York City? Like, or from
Pretty
Boston?
far.
From Boston, sure.
Pretty far.
How far from Boston?
How far from Boston from Vermont? Like,
Ask Siri. How far is Vermont from Boston?
The distance between Boston and Vermont is 170 miles.
Well, okay, I need a time.
So sure. So for me to go from Salem, Oregon, where I'm from, to Bend, Oregon, which has amazing snow every year, it's about 120 miles. So, and it takes way less, and it's all this gorgeous drive through the mountains. It's amazing. Like, there's plenty of places in Oregon and in Washington to go if you want snow.
Or it can snow right in your backyard.
You're right, and then your basement gets flooded,
Why would your basement
and then you have
get
to
flooded?
shovel snow.
I think you guys just have horrible houses. I think that's the issue here.
What?
No,
My basement's never. I don't have a basement actually,
well,
California doesn't have basements.
Exactly.
In New York, we have basements.
because you need them.
yeah, because it gets too cold.
or
Because
That's what a heater's for.
No, because back when electricity didn't exist and you had to eat bread in your basement, that's what you had to do.
Are
Like,
we in the 1400s now?
No,
Actually,
but you
some
were in
houses
one
have
time.
basements.
looked it
But
up.
we're not now.
Looked it up. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay.
For what? I totally forgot.
Wait,
The
wait.
Vermont to
Boston,
Boston. You were like 3 steps behind.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry. My phone
We
was
already
really glitchy.
moved on without
Look.
you.
Yeah, weather is a tough one. I mean, I think it's obvious that humidity is, if you're from a place with humidity and you're used to it, great. I just feel like California weather, Oregon weather is so much easier to adjust to than the West Coast, because West Coast is just, the air is worse. Like, it just is worse.
Yeah. The air.
Like,
the air is
Yes,
worse.
it is.
Yes, it is.
Great.
You guys have pollution.
Do
no.
not?
No, we do. Yeah, you do.
Well, every big city
No, but,
has
like,
pollution.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
I was gonna
Go to
say.
Oregon. You can look at the
New
air
York
right
City?
now.
Dog.
Where I'm
Not
from,
as bad,
where I'm
though.
from is in a valley. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen this? It's called healthy air. It's like it's like the index between 5 and 10. Like, New York City's always at 100. It's
Yep.
so disgusting there.
No, I call BS.
Oh.
I'm fact checking you.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys said you were gonna fact check. I'm
New York
fact checking
City.
you.
New York City.
I know
we-
New York
I-
City.
Upstate
I
New
don't
York's
think we
nice.
ever mentioned
Upstate
it.
New York is like 20 to 30
I
is our
didn't think we
index
were going to talk
usually.
about air quality, not going to lie.
I didn't know
Air
either.
quality in New York City is 35.
Oh wow, much better than 5.
There's never been a 5.
Yeah, there is.
No,
When
there's
were you
no
in,
5.
When were you in New York? When it was 5?
There's never.
That's not what I was saying,
No,
dude.
no. There's never been a 5. Like, there nowhere is a 5. Upstate New York
I'm
with the
just saying.
freaking cows and the land and is like 30 to 40. Always.
Yeah, it's because you get all the wind from the cities.
But it's 4 hours away.
Yeah, the wind is powerful over there.
No, you're just wrong.
Look, okay. I didn't want to. This is kind of my trump card, so I didn't want to bring it out right now.
Oh.
But I just needed.
Oh, God.
I had to mention it that in Oregon, about 40 minutes from my house, is the largest cheese factory in the world.
What?
And I don't know if you guys have had Tillamook ice cream or Tillamook cheese,
Tillamook.
but let me tell you, I've taken a tour of this place. It's $7. They take you through the whole place. You get a wheel of cheese at the end of it. I'm just saying, for people who like cheese, it's a no-brainer that the West Coast is
He's
better.
bringing
Get a
cheese
wheel of
into the
cheese?
entire West Coast debate. The
Yes.
one
This
place
is-
with
Cheese
I think
is
he's trying to
awesome.
sponsor the whole state of Oregon.
I mean, I would sponsor cheese, but
Well, in upstate New York, we have this like most amazing. I need my mom to like get on here. It's like no, in Cooperstown, it's like 15 minutes from us, and it's like the world's best cheesecake, and they make it out of like some cheese thing. I don't know. It's really good.
I'm
and
pretty
I need
sure I
the
could walk like
details.
2 feet down the street and find the world's best
Yeah.
sausage. Like,
Pizza and bagels.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Now I have to be there.
Okay, so
No. Okay. The point is, the cheesecake is really good in New York, which brings me to my next point. Pizza and bagels superior in the West or in the East Coast.
wow, it's 2 types of foods.
Yeah, 2 big types of foods.
I mean,
Have you ever met anybody that doesn't like pizza or bagels?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they're like in my top 5. But
Exactly.
I will say, back home in Salem, Oregon, which is the capital, by the way, not Portland, there is a place called, and yes, admittedly, it is called Straight from New York Pizza.
Oh,
But it's not from New York, and it is made right in Salem, Oregon. And I will tell you that when I came home from New York one time, I had a slice of pizza right before I got on the plane. I sat on the plane for 6 hours, and my next meal was right at Straight from New York Pizza in Salem, Oregon, and it was much better pizza. I have a friend who goes to
my.
Columbia
I think you're just
University
crazy.
who says this pizza's better. I have a friend who goes
Oh
to
my.
Bard University who says the pizza's way better.
oh my.
Oh.
but I'm from New York, born and raised, and I say the pizza's better there than it is here. Same with bagels.
I don't really have any defense with like the New York, but I feel like there's a lot of good pizza places in New York.
No, but even Boston has pretty good pizza.
Oh yeah.
I mean, cuisine is a good topic because I think generally there are a lot like more Italian, German type of foods in New York. That's the historic. And then for us, we have a
all
lot
you
of
guys
Asian.
have is like
Yeah.
Mexican food.
No, we have Mexican food. That is okay.
no. I mean, like,
I think
for the
I just
most
had a
part,
heart attack.
No, I mean, for the most part, all you guys eat is like tacos and burritos.
Whoa! You're forgetting about like Asian cuisine. You're forgetting about like Mediterranean cuisine.
When do you guys ever eat that?
Asian food?
What the fuck are you
Like,
talking about?
Takeout like all the time.
What are you talking
Not that
about?
much.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about? What
I
are you
make-
on about?
What do you-
No.
The amount of like Japanese food, like Vietnamese
I
food,
Maybe not
like
maybe not him, but I'll like
I
We-
guess.
in
I've seen-
California, like oh my god, like the Bay Area, it's just
because like you don't even eat food, so
Well, and let's
so
just
much Vietnamese food and Mexican food, of course. But it's fire.
I think
It's so
cuisine. I think cuisine is tough because it's almost 50-50, but I'd still give the edge to the West Coast purely because I think Asian and Mexican cuisine trump most cuisines.
No.
Like
Yes.
Italian,
No.
Italian
Italian food is
Italian,
the
no,
That's just your
Italian
taste.
food. Italian food is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but there are like 3 types of dishes, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
No.
No, everything's a combination of something else. Lasagna is just like stuffed pasta, and then like obviously you have pizza, which is one of the best foods ever made. But like Asian cuisine, there's so many different types of Asian cuisine, and Mexican
Okay,
food
but it's
is
mediocre food.
no,
Like
no.
at least Italian food is like top tier good.
Sure, maybe more expensive. There you are singling out the expensive people again.
So discriminatory.
God,
but also
sorry
like,
guys.
the other foods are also expensive though.
What is
Like not just Italian foods.
What?
Yeah, Asian cuisines are expensive.
no, Asian cuisine is
Very-
very cheap.
And Japanese food
No.
is crazy
The-
expensive.
No. The best.
What are you guys talking about?
What is okay?
in the
Okay, I don't think the price matters in this argument, to be honest.
No. I mean, in the Bay Area, which is San Francisco for you guys, like around that area, there's a great like Chinese food place, and you can get like chow mein for like $7, and it feeds your entire freaking family, and it's like the best thing you'll ever have. Like seriously. So I know that there are cheap places in New York. I've been to a couple of those places that are like rent-controlled sandwich places that kind of can stay in family generations and stuff that taste really, really good. But I don't know. I got to give it to the West Coast cuisine still.
With my bias, because I do like the West Coast more personally, but I do think that like food is actually way better on the East Coast.
Because
really
that's
do.
because you like Italian food, which I would say is probably better.
I'm 70% Italian. My blood is Italian. Of course,
Well, I'm like 0% Asian, and I love Asian food.
I just think it's more like diverse on the West Coast, and it's
Yeah.
more good. Because obviously, like, you guys have those foods. Like, you guys have Mexican food and stuff, but it's, like, not that good.
Yeah, it's not as authentic.
Have
not-
you?
because-
You've never been to the
And
East
California-
Coast?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I've been to
haven't.
D.C. and Virginia,
DC
but, like...
doesn't count.
I
as
know, but
anything.
I have.
Oh, but Florida
DC
does.
is-
That's
DC
really
is
loud.
I'm so sorry.
DC's in the East Coast. DC's in the East Coast.
I know it's in the East Coast, but DC is like nothing.
But also, I
No.
just, like, I've heard it's not as good. And I believe that because it's way more authentic here. I mean, California used to be a part of Mexico.
Who do we give this to?
Look, I mean, I think
don't know.
I don't even
pure,
know what this supposed to say.
even if the quality of the food in New York is better, the amount of different types of food on the West Coast is just trumps everything.
Yeah,
It
but
just
we
beats
have
everything.
those different types of food. There's just not as much. We still have all the types of food that you guys have.
Yeah.
It's just not
It's
as
just-
good.
Well, you don't know that. You've never had it.
You haven't had all the food we're talking about.
No, but I've
What
had a
other-
lot of it.
What other
other-
what other points do we have here?
Yeah.
You guys
Uh,
go.
So, well, I don't know what you tune into on when you're in the West Coast because I've never been there. But we have all the holidays practically like tuning in. Thanksgiving parade in New York, New Year's Eve.
Oh,
parade
when
in-
you're streaming all the holiday
yeah,
stuff.
like, I mean, also that's mainly just because New York, and that's like, I
Yeah.
guess you can say.
But
that.
like the ball drop in New York City, Thanksgiving Day parade, also New York City.
but like,
All the major
Yeah.
holiday stuff. The Christmas tree lighting.
I
New York
can't
City.
like judge upon that completely because I don't know what you guys tune into when you're in the West Coast. But
I'm sure it's this.
well, I know like everybody tunes into the ball dropping. That's like,
Which is in New York City.
I don't know.
I think
I
I think you
don't
bring up a very good point. Is that the East Coast has a lot of these big celebrations that America can celebrate together. But I will ask you, where do you think your Christmas tree comes from?
Oh.
California and Oregon.
But it lives in New York.
But it lives.
Yes, it lives in New York for the few months. Well, the month and a half ish.
But it lives in my house.
Look,
It lives in New York.
I think it's a tough question because it depends on what you prefer. Like, you can sell everyone the idea that they can be a part of something bigger and they can be a part of the New York lighting and they can come together all together. Or you can sit by the fireplace in your log cabin close to Mount Hood and cut down your own Christmas tree from a natural forest that you can cut down Christmas trees from. And, you know that you cut it down yourself and you put it in. It's like there's something warmer about that. And that's really what the holidays are all about, not mass gatherings in big cities. Like,
But that's just what you prefer.
really
Like
what the
you
holidays
want to
are all
stay in your cold house, or not cold house, but like in the cold weather inside your warm house instead of like traveling and going places for the holidays. Like so many people go and stand in the freezing cold weather to watch the ball drop.
in a
Freezing
crowd,
cold.
In a crowd.
In
I
a-
think
in a giant
I think
crowd.
California kind of gets a bad rap for this argument in particular, but a lot of people in Oregon and Washington can afford nicer homes and they can afford to stay in a nicer home, whereas the East Coast is generally more expensive, excluding the Bay Area and Los Angeles and San Diego. Like those are expensive places to live, but everywhere else is significantly cheaper. And I think knowing that you own something and knowing that you did something yourself makes Christmas more worth it. I know this is turning into like a Christmas plot, but I'm just saying. And I don't want to bring Hawaii into this,
Oh my
but
God.
I think it is a very sound argument for a great vacation spot that most of the time West Coast people go to. Like there are people from the East Coast that fly to Hawaii, but it's significantly harder to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Hawaii can provide an experience.
Okay, but you can also fly to the Florida Keys.
Yeah, but Florida again.
Okay, but Florida's like, okay, the Keys are like separate from Florida though. Yeah, they're like in Florida, but they're islands off of the like off of Florida. They're not attached to it. If
Yeah.
you're going to go on vacation, that's a different argument. Hawaii and the Florida Keys are like the same thing.
I just think there's a lot of Hawaiian influence also in cuisine on the West Coast.
But
too.
Hawaii is also very expensive.
True, but it's
like,
because it's
very,
become a
very
tourist
expensive.
spot, which kind of is Boston and all those other cities like New York and Philadelphia.
All
Like they've
the
kind of
tourist
become
spots are
tourist spots.
expensive.
You don't tour in LA because, you know, stuff's getting done in LA.
Stuff's getting done.
Like I lived there over the summer, and I can say that living in any big city is not the greatest experience because it's pretty dirty and stuff. But LA, like people are actually working. There's no tourists in downtown LA. If you go to Hollywood, sure, but there's every time I've been to New York. I mean, I am a tourist there, but like it's like only tourists. It's all I ever see.
But how do you know?
Because like they have the fanny pack and like everything.
Well,
and
yeah,
like,
but there's
they have the
also
map out.
all the businessmen in the suits that are just going to work.
Especially Jack right here
Well,
with
yeah,
the
of
suit.
course.
Yeah, I mean, I
New
got
York
my
City.
suit on.
But like, I mean, yes, it is a lot of tourism, like a lot, but that just depends on also the part of the city you're in. Like New York is a very walkable city. You can walk anywhere in New York. It might take an hour to get from one end to the other, but like that's pretty long in terms of New York. You can't walk in LA.
That's true. I mean, okay, really quickly, we're kind of getting off track. I just wanted to go, like, the accents. Like, we have to talk about the accents.
Oh no.
Like, people from the Pacific Northwest, yeah, we like our coffee and our beanies and our, like, yeah, like, there's that type of mindset around what we do, but I generally think we talk pretty normally.
Surf's that, my dudes.
Well, yes, there's the whole surfer mindset and the valley girl, but, like, I mean, come on, like, I'm walking here, like, really? Like
But
that type of sucks? Like,
But it's
like,
a classic.
Pack
It's
a
like
car.
yeah, it's a classic, but exactly. Like, I mean, Danny's talking in his true tongue right now, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like to most foreigners, we would sound more inviting than the East Coast. I mean, when
Are
you're
you
saying,
calling us ghetto?
no, I'm not
Wait,
calling you.
what?
What?
Like,
No, I don't think
I'm not saying
really.
ghetto. I'm just,
Like-
I'm just saying like we are friendlier.
I think your guys' accent
But
is
you
more
also-
intense, and your attitudes are a lot more intense.
Exactly.
Like generally, not like.
But
Like
people
New
think
York or-
Californians are the most
Oh.
like stuck up. Oh, like
you think East Coasters aren't seen as
no,
stuck
no,
up?
I didn't say that. I didn't say they're not. But
But,
people
like-
also think that Californians are very stuck up and I'm doing my model thing and I'm
That's
like
only really like L.A. though, or like Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, go to like Seattle, which I still personally believe that Seattle is the number one city in the United States, just for a number of reasons. I think it's the cleanest. It's the night. It's like the best weather. There's a lot of stuff about it. But if you go to like Washington and Oregon, the people are so nice there, and I mean, I spent 2 months in Boston, and there were plenty of nice people there. But I spent most of my time with foreigners. Even though when I went out to places, it was just a lot more stern and a lot more cutthroat. And I think if we're talking about places where people would want to visit, I mean, you definitely got to go to both. But I think people would have a more fun time talking and visiting with people on the West Coast.
yeah, but who's really talking to a ton of people? Like when you're visiting a place, you're not like
The East Coast mindset versus the West Coast.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I was-
We're social.
No, I was just like,
yeah, but like
We're a lot more,
you're not
like,
gonna
social
go on
and outwardly
vacation.
friendly.
You're not gonna go on vacation and be like, "Ooh, they're like very cutthroat. Like I can't thrive here." Like that doesn't matter.
Well, like,
you're
you
just going to
interact
explore.
with people when you go places, like when you go to the store. When you
Yeah,
go
but
to
I
a
don't think anyone's
restaurant.
really fighting with you when you get a bagel.
Well, it's not that. It's like the attitude.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if any of you guys prepared random facts, but I prepared some like.
Oh no.
I just wanted to
Fun
like.
fact time.
I mean, because you talked about pizza and bagels, but I think there are a lot of things that we have going for us that are well, they're very random. But I think for most people, I mean, there's some deal breakers and some other stuff in here too. So like, first off, West Coast is the home of the Barbie, the most popular toy of all time, besides Legos, which is also the home of Legos in California. So
Legoland.
Oh yeah.
what about
Yeah,
Legoland?
Legoland
That's the
is
first
not-
word.
Legoland. Okay.
I mean, obviously, we have amazing weather for growing fruit and produce, like way better than the East Coast. Also, 1 in 4 people in California are born on the East Coast and said they moved.
I mean, yeah, that's me.
These are really random.
Those are really.
Oh, that's kind of true.
no, but
though.
that's also in California though. People do the same thing.
not as much.
They go from California to New York quite the
Yeah.
same, pretty equally than New York to California. If we're talking like those two states alone,
Okay,
like,
alone.
if we're talking just those two, not the entire East Coast to West Coast thing, New York moves to California just the same amount that California moves to New York. So I feel like the
moved back
moving
after
kind of
because
thing.
they realized it sucks.
We have the shortest river and the deepest lake. Thought that was pretty interesting.
Okay.
This one's a big one. I mean, first off, Springfield, Simpsons. The Simpsons takes place in Oregon, in Springfield, Oregon. Also, Matt Groening is from Springfield, Oregon.
Friends takes place in New York
Springfield.
City.
But it was shot in L.A.
Oh.
Oh God.
I'm just saying, Oregon, like, I mean, that's got to be, like, the one. Like, Matt Groening, like, the greatest animated cartoon of all time is set in Oregon. Like, there's a reason.
Yeah, but it wasn't filmed in Oregon because it's animated. So that's the same.
I gotta say this.
Sure, it wasn't animated in Oregon. You know where it was animated? Los Angeles.
Yeah, but that's not Oregon. So you could
It's the
say
West
this.
Coast.
Yeah.
This is really hard.
Also, I think I didn't want to bring this one up, but like, where are bald eagles from? Like, the West Coast and Montana area. Like, and what is the bald eagle? It's the face of America. Like, if we're not the best coast,
And
like, we're the face of
and
America.
what's the team called with the Eagles? From Philadelphia.
All right, but that's
So-
a team. That's not the actual eagle. It's a little emblem that men put on when they run on a little
is
grass
just
field
sad.
and tackle each other.
This is just sad.
We knew we were gonna lose.
Yeah, we literally go to. Keep in mind, we go to a university in the West Coast, so of course that we already do
You
those.
chose to
Yeah.
be here.
That's the point. We were destined to
know,
lose
I
from
know.
the beginning.
Oh, also, fortune cookies were invented in California.
Were they?
Yeah.
They
every-
taste better in New York.
What?
No, that's an actual thing I've noticed. Is fortune cookies here suck. They're not good.
I mean, I don't
What,
know.
I mean, are they supposed to tell you that you're going to succeed
the
or
fortune
something?
or the
No,
cookie?
not the fortune. The cookie. The taste. The taste
Oh,
of
the
the
actual
cookie.
I
Yeah.
see.
No,
I
I don't
didn't
care about
realize we all
fortunes.
like were criticizing the actual cookie part of the
No, I'm
fortune
talking about the
cookie.
cookie.
Yeah.
The cookie is terrible here. It is way better in New York.
Where are you? What are you talking about? The like Panda Express or like an actual?
In general, I've had like real cookie and like Panda Express cookie. Neither of them are good.
Here?
Yeah, but in New York, way better.
I don't know.
I mean, that's just
I
something
wouldn't know.
stupid,
I
but
don't really judge.
it's true.
I mean,
I stand by
There's
that.
still good ones from Massachusetts, I guess, but like I don't really judge.
Oh, I
In
judge the
Massachusetts
cookies.
isn't
Also, a
mentioned.
few pity
But-
points for the West Coast. The state animal of California is extinct, so
Oh
Wait,
pity
like,
points right there.
You lose.
no!
That's
No, I'm
you
just
lose.
it's
Feel bad.
yeah, just feel bad.
Feel
like
bad.
Our animal's extinct. Like this,
That just means your animal sucks.
Oh.
They can't adapt.
or
Yeah.
humans suck.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I did have one,
Oh.
which is a debate within a debate,
Oh.
practically,
Mm-hmm.
and I call out Gabe, who gave me this idea. Skying is the right way to
I
say.
forgot about
You can't
this.
do that because you're fighting with another East Coaster about it.
Did you not? Do you not?
It's
like?
not skying. It's
Okay,
waterfalling.
then this is
It
the-
is
Your
waterfalling.
topic
It is
is
skying.
wrong.
It is so
No,
skying.
no, it's
'Cause- No,
not.
because when you're
Okay.
waterfalling, it's just with water.
I gotta
when
Google
it's
this.
when
Who
it's
says
just
sky
skying, you're
besides
skying every
Massachusetts?
single drink. You could sky Gatorade.
Please stop.
You
You're
could
making
sky
East Coasters look
lemonade.
horrible.
You could
Sky
sky.
sounds
No,
so
I'm
no.
making a good
sorry.
point.
You're
though.
not making a good point because you're fighting with another East Coaster who says that it's waterfalling.
It's
Oh, look,
skying.
I don't know if this will help your relationship, but did you know it's illegal to box with a kangaroo in Oregon? Just saying.
So I could go to New York and box the kangaroo is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Air
That
sip?
seems better.
What?
is
Who
Air
says
sip?
air sip?
air sip.
Somebody in some
That's
ci-
some like Midwest bullshit.
Virginia says waterfall. Maryland says air sip.
Okay,
You guys can't
Maryland
even
is
figure it
barely
out
even
on
It's
your
skying.
face.
It is skying. It is skying.
It's not skying.
It
You
is
sound
so
dumb.
No,
No,
waterfalling is specifically for
I
water.
don't mean actual waterfalls.
It's not a literal. Oh my god.
No, it's skying.
Look,
It's
you
not
guys,
skying.
you guys could talk about all this pointless nonsense, but what you have to understand is that California coined the phrase "eureka." Like
How do you come up with
the
these?
phrase "eureka." Like,
That's
have you
true,
never
the
have you ever
gold
found
rush.
yourself like you stub your toe and you go, "Ah, eureka"? Like,
I've never used that word.
well, because you're from the East Coast. I'm just saying.
Didn't even know it existed until just now.
Well, I know it existed. It's just not a good word.
I feel like we just have to talk about like the nature in the West Coast versus
Oh, of
the East
course.
Coast.
I
I
mean-
mean, come on, we won.
But we also have way better. What are they called? The state parks. The
No.
Excuse
well,
me?
okay. Okay, wait.
Yosemite.
No. Wait.
Central
Pause.
Park.
Okay, I'm wrong. Not Central Park. What?
State parks.
States Park. No, Central Park isn't. Oh my god.
Well, I guess we have intelligence
Never
too.
mind. I mean.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
I mean,
Park.
it is the centralmost park.
I'm just gonna move away from that because my other East Coaster here is making us look really bad.
It's so funny.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yosemite versus
I
Central
like how
Park.
when I look up state parks, it says Oregon.
Talking
as
in the
correcting-
mic.
As it's correcting it to state parks, Oregon.
But you just searched up. If you can't see, guys, he searched up state parks and he spelled parks wrong. So
No, I didn't. Look up
Oh
close.
god.
PRAKS.
You're lying, bro.
Why would I lie on live air? Like that's
On
just-
live air.
Live air.
Okay,
I mean, you lied about
the
your
last
suit.
thing. The last thing I have to mention is bacon is a staple of America, and I know it wasn't invented on the West Coast, but if it wasn't for the Great Pig War versus Canada, we would have never ever had bacon.
But that's not the West Coast.
It is. It was all about Canada. It was all about this great conflict between Washington and Canada about whether or not the British Empire should have control over Washington. And the only thing that helped us win was the fact that we stole a bunch of their pigs.
California?
No, Washington.
Oh, Washington.
just
I
said.
completely blanked.
No. I'm just saying, if it wasn't for that reason, we might not have had the bacon we have today. And Canadian bacon might not have been as
But
tasty
Canadian
as it is
bacon
today.
is not good.
See, that's just an East Coast thing.
Back me up.
Canadian bacon, isn't it just ham, or am I wrong?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't really like ham, so I'll
Yeah.
defend it there. I don't know.
This is all just preference.
I just think anything you want for California specifically, because I mean I don't know as well about like Oregon or Washington. Anything you want, we have in California. Okay, any kind of like geography, like landscape. You know what I mean? Anything like we have everything. There's nothing we're missing.
It's like we have everything.
We have
that you would
everything.
want. Because our state's humongous.
So join us
and
today.
it's like has the GDP of like a fucking country.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't
think the
know.
nature part of it all comes down, like, if we really want to end this on a high note, like, it all
A high
comes...
note for the West Coast.
Well, no. I'll play the devil's advocate here, and I mean, I'll be both angels on the shoulder, and it goes without saying that we are all one as a country in America, and where we decide to live does not change how much of an American we are and how much we care about our country. There's a lot that goes into it. I think West Coast has a lot more. We have clean air. We have nicer people. Those are non-debatable things. And yes, the East Coast is much more. It's much more organized, much more laid out. It's a lot easier to traverse the East Coast than it is to travel. It obviously is a lot more expensive here. But in places in Oregon and Washington, it's a lot cheaper to live. There's a lot more quality of life. Some of the greatest schools in America that aren't prep schools where kids are, not very happy are on the West Coast. There's a lot of great public schools. Mine is not one of them, but there were a lot of great ones. I think there's a lot to be said for both coasts. Even if I'm from America,
From
if
America.
I'm from the West Coast, even being from the West Coast, I mean, I'm flying to New York.
The New York.
God, I'm not
Oh,
doing myself very
God.
good. I'm flying to New York in a couple days, and I'm excited to go see the city again, and excited to see some of. Honestly, I just want it to be a little colder. I'm kind of getting sick of it being 85 degrees in
Oh,
October
so you
here.
like the seasons and not always summer.
Oh, I love the
Depends-
seasons, but
depends.
I'd go to Oregon and Washington
Yeah.
for them.
It depends on the
That's just
person.
Cali.
I'd say like it doesn't really matter. It just depends on how you feel. I think there's a lot of great things about East Coast. There's a lot of great things about West Coast.
I think it was very hard finding great things for the East Coast.
It's not like hard about like
Also-
as you said, as what DJ Banana Slug said. It's not that it's hard to find great things about East Coast. It's that you find great things about East Coast, which also imply that you find great things about West Coast as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely like the West Coast more. I mean, East
Me
Coast
too.
has some good things,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I like the West Coast more.
Well, and
I like it.
on a pastoral note, when we think about how, like, the ocean's colder on the Pacific coast, obviously. So we get a lot more tide pools, we get a lot more things, we get starfish, we have 17% less salt, which is always a win, because too much salt, causes, like, diabetes. So, and that's America's greatest killer. So, it's very important that we recognize that if you could walk along the beach, there's starfish, there's all sorts of things that you guys just
but that's
don't
also
have.
in Florida.
Well, you can count Florida.
No,
You can
I'm going to
forever
bring
count
Florida in because you keep bringing up points about, we have starfish. So does Florida.
Sure, you can have Florida.
I will have Florida for the
America
beaches
doesn't
alone.
want it, so you can have it.
For the beaches alone. Florida. They have starfish.
Yeah, end your
So
argument with Florida.
Your argument is not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rest my case. The East Coaster just admitted Florida was a part of the East Coast.
God.
Ooh, man.
Well,
At least we don't have a state on our coast that we're not proud of.
Ooh.
Ooh. I can't really I
No.
can't really say anything about that. I
Well-
mean, like, would you say that you wouldn't count Georgia as East? Probably.
What?
Like,
we already have one bad state. Why are you bringing up another?
Georgia's not terrible. Anyway,
You make us look really bad.
we already knew West Coast was going to win.
Okay. So, we need the gavel. I think it's clear West Coast won.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I agree.
Let's gavel it. 3, 2, 1. That was really bad, guys. Anyway,
We tried.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That is it for our debate today.
That's it.
Tune in next time. Same time every week.
And follow us on Instagram. Bring a debate.
Yeah.
And I'm DJ Donut.
And say goodbye to Jumbo Shrimp. He will not be returning next week.
Bye, John
Go Oregon.
Shrimp.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.